Oh boy, and the plot thickens. Today we are continuing our conversation that we had on the last day of the NHL All-Star competition, going over Nikita Kucherov, Tampa Bay Lightning superstar forward and ultimate troll. Because in the last video, we talked about how he, in the final day of the skills competition, had himself a showcase for the ages, where Kucherov, amongst the 12 players that were participating in the skills competition, finished dead last, and it wasn't even close. We talked about how Kucherov, during the passing challenge and during the puck handling challenge, was taking his sweet, fanciful time, just trying to complete the tasks. He wasn't really looking too urgent, he wasn't really looking like he wanted a chance at winning the $1 million prize. Not that anybody was going to go out there and dethrone Connor McDavid. I mean, considering the fact that the guy made the entire event himself, it's kind of, expected to see him win it. But Kucherov didn't give a rat's behind about what was going on, and that was very apparent with his body language on the ice. Now, I said in the video last time that I kind of found it funny. Like, I thought this was a hilarious showcase. One guy out of the 12 does not give a freak about what's going on. And sure, you could question the integrity of this player. You could say, hey, fans paid good money to see this. This is a once-a-year event where everybody's supposed to come together and put on a show because it celebrates the best talents in the NHL. But everybody knows that the All-Star event, the game, the competition, it's a little bit silly, right? And at the end of the day, it's all entertainment, so one guy out of 12 not taking it seriously and embracing it. That's what I love the most about it. He embraced this villainous role. He became the heel for a night. Because after he started to get booed, you could see the guy smiling. He would wave up to the crowd in Toronto. He knows that there's history between Tampa and the Maple Leafs. He knows that there is a fan base in this building that probably doesn't like him already because of all the damage the Tampa Bay Lightning have done to Toronto over the years in the playoffs. But when he is getting booed because he's not putting in any effort, instead of sulking away about it, he waves to the crowd. He embraces the heel role. Man, that's villainous TV writing over there. And I talked about that in the last video. In fact, the last video we made was before the actual All-Star game, where we did see a shootout happen with Team Hughes. They played off against Team... who the hell was it? Team Matthews? Something like that. And they ended up losing in a shootout. Nikita Kucherov went for his attempt, and in this little segment, you started to see the Toronto fans booing their heads off once again. Kucherov got stopped by, I believe it was Igor Shesterkin, and hey, he does it again. He skates away, he waves to the fans, he has himself a moment. He's the #1 heel of the entire event, and now fans are divided. Some are saying, hey, this is hilarious, the guy's an absolute troll. The others are saying, hey, this is very disrespectful, the guy's an absolute clown. But where do NHL executives stand on this matter? Well, to help us out with that, we're going over onto TVA Sports because it's none other than Patrick Lalime, the former goalie who went out there and had himself a segment talking about this entire thing. Take a look at this article on TVA Sports. Nikita Kucherov, the NHL in full swing. By the way, of course, this is translated from French into English. I cannot read French properly, so we're taking Lalime's comments from the Google Translate machine. Tampa Bay Lightning forward Nikita Kucherov made a fool of himself Friday during the skills competition, and the NHL apparently really didn't like it. I saw representatives of the league after Kucherov's actions, and they were not very, very happy, Patrick Lalime said at the end of the night. It was a lack of respect and a lack of class towards hockey. I have the impression that he loved it and the crowd booed him, and he took his time even more. Alexandre Picard, for his part, indicated that he had a thought about the Lightning organization. I think of Julien Brisebois, Mathieu Darche, and John Cooper, who are watching this saying, okay, he has our sweater on his back. That's embarrassing. Eric Fichaud, for his part, did not mince his words either. Nikita Kucherov is the best scorer in the NHL and he made a fool of himself. He doesn't look smart, that's for sure. It's a lack of class and a lack of respect for the fans. Now, maybe I'm really just the immature one here, but I already explained my 2 cents as to why this entire thing was funny to me. But I have to be very clear, semantics are semantics. Just because something is funny to me does not mean that I think it should have been done. Was it preferable to see Nikita Kucherov go out there and waste away his time and allow the fans to boo him and wave and become the bad guy for a night? No, it's probably not ideal for that to happen. It's not really a good look for the league. It's not really a good look for Kucherov. But at the same time, things like that can be funny. And sometimes I just want to see funny things rather than seeing the appropriate things take place. But Patrick Lalonde's comments going out there and saying that, yeah, there are some executives, some people, representatives of the NHL that were not happy about this. It's kind of gotten the ball rolling as to whether or not we could see a little bit more to this. And you know what's interesting is that there were actually a few other comments from people regarding Kucherov that were not super negative. Take a look at this article in NHL.com. Kucherov embraces role as a crowd rival at the NHL All-Star Game. The Lightning forward, who had 2 points in the semifinal for Team Hughes, loved receiving boos in Toronto. Here's what he said about the entire matter. "I loved it," Kucherov said. "I'm here to have fun, and I'm sure the fans enjoyed it. It was a blast to be here around the best players and be on the ice with them." Furthermore, you had yourselves Rick Tocchet go out there and describe what was going on. "He loved it," said Vancouver Canucks coach Rick Tocchet, the coach of Team Hughes. "I said to Kucherov, everybody hates a winner, I guess. The guy, I think he could be one of the best pressure guys in the game the last 8-9 years. Anytime there's an overtime, anytime you've got to score a goal, his fingerprints are all over it. I just marvel at the way he thinks the game." There are a few extra comments from Kucherov and Vetrano and everybody else talking about, the playing of the game and everything, but I did find it very interesting that Nikita Kucherov himself embraced the role and even called out to the media, "Yeah, I liked it." And Rick Tocchet was like, "Yeah, he liked it. He's a good player. What are you going to do?" Although, with that being said, the comments from Kucherov and the comments from Tocchet, there are a few articles that have been published over the past few days, and I'm not going to link them because they're all speculative, People just going out there and reading tweets and coming to ideas as to what they think could happen, and that's kind of what I'm doing in this video here. But there are conversations going around on social media amongst fans and journalists, or maybe amateur journalists, I guess you could say, asking the question, hey, do you think there's going to be any, discipline here? We've seen other NHL players get disciplined for all-star related reasons, like Alexander Ovechkin, for example. He gets suspended every year because he doesn't want to play and participate in the all-star festivities. He takes the 1-game suspension and he's like, yeah, okay, cool. I'll use this to recover and rest up a little bit. I don't participate in the all-stars, and I even get to miss another game, so that's good for me. Not saying it's guaranteed, but it is interesting to hear from one of the NHL's GOATs of the past that yeah, Nikita Kucherov apparently did not rub a lot of NHL people the right way with his actions here. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. One, about Nikita Kucherov's performance, or lack thereof, at the 2024 NHL All-Star competition and the festivities. What are your thoughts on the way Kucherov himself responded to that? Did you think a little bit of heat was necessary for this event to really get the ball rolling on some of the conversations here? Sometimes you just need to get a bad guy in there so that everybody feels a stronger sense of solidarity when fighting against the guy, aka when you start to boo him. Rick Tocchet went out there and said, yeah, I guess people just don't like a winner, but what are your thoughts about that entire idea? Do you think these comments are a little bit far-fetched? Do you think the Lalime conversation where he said, yeah, NHL executives are not happy, do you think that's a little bit overreactionary? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Nikita Kucherov stuff and more. Both the articles will be linked in the description if you want to see that yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.